Good morning, everybody. Hope you're well, having a good weekend. I'm going to do some brief content today about masks and why we all wear them, because we do. So we'll have masks that we know we wear and masks that we really don't. So how do we work out the masks that we don't realise we're wearing? Well, there'll be masks that we often wear where we may find we're adapting how we think or how we behave in certain arenas. So around certain people, in front of certain people, because maybe we worry a lot about what others think, or we're taught and trained and told that we have to be a certain way in order to be accepted. So over our lifetime, we garner all these masks in order to fit in, to be likable, to be wanted, to not stand out, to not be rejected, to not be thought of as weird or whatever it might be. The problem is that can really rob us of who we really are, because if we've layered ourselves up with loads of masks, which we tend to always do through our childhoods because we don't know we're doing it, we're being told how to be, it can take away what is called our authenticity. And I know a lot of people love to start working towards being their true authentic selves, and that's what it is. It's your genuine self, but it's quite a laborious process, really, because you have to discover what masks you're wearing in the first place in order to able to find a different mask. Or sometimes you have to break down the masks bit by bit in order to almost come clean as to who you really are. And that can be really alarming and scary as well for yourself, because often we don't really know who we are. So it's those big questions, those big philosophical questions we ask in life about who am I? Well, indeed. And it's an exciting process, but it can be very scary, because if we've believed that we're a certain person all our lives, and then we start to question, actually, do I really think like that? Is that really my thoughts or what I've been told to think? What do I think without that? It can be alarming, because suddenly, who am I really then? And what does that mean? Well, how will I seem to other people? And there can be a loss of self. There can be like a grieving of who you thought you were. But it's really exciting to become who you really are, because when you become authentic and you do that work to keep chipping away at what you're not, you then often discover really great talents and hobbies and passions in life that are really, really, really fulfilling for you, that put you on your soul path, your soul purpose, that you never would have known existed if you stay leading that other life. So we've always got paths that we can take at any time, and you can stay leading that life with the mask, because yes, you absolutely will be accepted by masses in society if you stay that way, but you'll also be accepted by a lot of people if you're not staying that way as well. And that can seem daunting, because it's always the what if. How do I know it will be okay? Well, actually, if it's okay for you, then long term, you start to lose that worry about what others think as much, as long as you're happy. And that can take a lot of time and work to get to as well. But the thing is, if you don't start removing the masks that you may be wearing, or trying to identify if you've got masks and what they might be, ultimately you lose yourself, because we can lose ourselves in the crowd. We become the crowd, and there's nothing wrong with being in the crowd and a part of the crowd, but you still want to be your unique self within that crowd. And it'd be great to think there's a crowd that every person in that is being their unique, authentic self, because imagine what we could all share with each other. It's embracing difference, it's embracing uniqueness, which means that we're not all clones. And I think what's happened in this world is that we've become very safe, supposedly, of being a clone of one another, and then everybody becomes very, very daunted at standing out from being a clone. I think it's amazing not to be a clone. I understand the safety. I was a clone for a long, long time, but I also understand the joy, the divine purpose of my whole being by not being a clone, because none of us are really clones. I'm not talking DNA, by the way. None of us are actually clones. We are our individual self. And if we're nurtured through our childhoods to embrace what we like, what we don't like, explore different things to find out who we are, then we're going to turn out in our adult life sort of not being a clone. But unfortunately, so much conditioning through society has been that we have to be a certain way. So actually what we're denied in our childhoods is the ability to discover what we enjoy, what we don't, who we are, what makes us tick, what doesn't. What are we into that might be really quirky or eccentric? That can get shut down. I'm not saying it does with everybody, but there is a mainstream that really has been. And when we get to adult life, we can go around, we've got the house, we've got the car, we've got the dog, we've got the partner. Why aren't we happy? Because we've got everything we've been told we should have, without questioning about whether that really is right for us, or the choices that we've made. The choices might be very cloned as well. Choices we make might be based on what we believe we should be doing because we've been told, or it's what our generation does, or what have you. Actually, it doesn't mean it's what you should do. It's okay to live a life that's authentic, against the norm. You know, it doesn't have to be conventional. And I always say that to people. I live the most unconventional life within a very conventional life, because I set myself up to do all the conventional things, you know, brainwashing, conditioning, society's rules, expectations, fears of being different. And actually that was never going to be a life that would be suitable to me. So I've changed a lot of that up, but it still takes a while to come out of that completely because of what I've created. And that's okay. I'm still working on myself continuously to still get to my authentic self. I don't know completely what that is. I've got a good idea, but not completely. I'm not sure I ever will. I suspect the day that I find my complete authentic self, I'll probably, you know, disappear into dust, because there's no more purpose to me. I've done it. I've created it. I worked it out. What is my purpose thereafter? But just start to notice what your masks are. Where do you change who you're being depending who you're around? Because that's telling. We all do it, and sometimes it's really hard to notice we're doing it. But why are we not consistent no matter what? No matter who we're in front of, no matter where we are? It's just interesting to know why. So have a lovely Saturday, a great weekend, everybody, and speak to you soon.